and welcome. In today's video, we're going to do two things. One of them is really fun, the other one not so much, but high risk, high reward, right? So what we're going to do today is learn how to play Come and Get Your Love by Redbone. That's number one. And number two, we're going to learn how to do bar chords. Actually, just one bar chord. So if you've been avoiding bar chords, the best way to master them is to choose a song that has one bar chord and other chords that you can already do. So if you can already do E minor, A, and D, then adding just one new bar chord, and this is the easiest bar chord that you could start with, will help you know what to use to practice to get you over that hump of being able to play bar chords. So let's get started. As mentioned before, we have an E minor, then an A, then a D, and the one bar chord that we're using for this lesson is called B minor 7. Now, what you need to do to play B minor 7 is put your index finger on the second fret, and you can start by doing one string at a time, like first put it on G string, then put it down to hold G and C, and pick on the strings as you're playing it, then add the E, and then add the A. You also want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough pressure with the thumb. That is one thing we don't talk about enough, is the thumb. And if your thumb is way up here, look, if your thumb is way up here, you're not giving yourself enough pressure from the back of the ukulele to make that bar chord ring. So what you need, it's almost like this balance of having the thumb on the back and the index finger in the front to help you compress or press down on those strings to make the bar chord sing. So if you put the thumb on the back center of the ukulele or wiggle it around until you find that sweet spot where you feel your hand is the strongest, then that's how you do a bar chord. The other thing, this is something I learned from my friend Abby Lyons. She said, look up, go ahead and bend your wrists and try to do a fist and see how strong of a fist you can make with bent wrists, and then unbend and try to make a fist. And you should notice that you can hold a lot tighter this way. And so think about that when you're doing your bar chords, to have a straight hand, to not bend that wrist. Of course, you don't want to overdo it and be tense. Just make sure you're relaxed. Breathing. The ukulele comes to you. Your hand comes to the ukulele and you add some pressure. Now, the other thing about bar chords, or at least this B minor 7 that we're doing today, some people may want to do it with the index finger barely touching the G, and some people may want to ride that index finger further up the fret. So if you may, look up, end up playing the bar chord here, or here, or here. So find that sweet spot for your finger. And this is why bar chords can be so confusing, because sometimes you look at someone and it looks like they're barely putting in any effort. And then you see other people trying it and getting a lot of, or you might be trying it, getting a lot of muted strings. The last thing I'll say about the bar chord, because we've sat on this for a little while, is if you have any ringing strings, even if there are some muted, that's okay. That's a win. Because here's the thing about bar chords. It's like going to the gym, and imagine that you have to bench press a certain weight limit. The best way to get to that weight limit is to start small and do it consistently until you're adding more weights. And so for right now, if you're getting one ringing string, for me that's a win. As long as you continue doing it and aim for 2 ringing strings, and then 3, and then 4. So for today, what are we doing? I would love for you to do the E minor, the A, D, and just train your finger to position itself for the bar chord. If you're not getting any ringing notes right now, that's okay, because I want your muscle memory to kick in and for you to be able to switch into the B minor 7. So again, let's do E minor, A, D, and B minor 7. Now let's talk about the finger choreography that I'm using to switch from chord to chord. So for the E minor, go ahead and look up. I'm doing a staircase, right? It's a staircase, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th frets. Look at that little staircase that you're making between the index and the middle finger. That's the same staircase that you need for chord A on frets 2 and 1. So those fingers should jump together Like imagine them just jumping together from one fret to the other. And then the middle finger is on the second fret of G string. Leave that middle finger there. Look up, rotate the hand up, and make room for the ring and the pinky to fit behind it. And that's how you go to D. Now, there is a way to cheat B minor 7 for those of you who are like, you know what, I'm trying the bar chord, I hate it, I don't want to do it. You can just put one finger on each string of the second fret, and that works for today. If you're gonna do that, in that case, then do D chord with index middle ring, and that way when you go to the B minor 7, you're just adding the pinky. That tip is coming from your friend Bernadette, not your teacher Bernadette. Your teacher Bernadette says work on the bar chord, because this is a really fun song, and if you choose a fun song to play it with, and if it's an easier bar chord, then you're gonna get to the point where you can do it and not avoid songs with bar chords. But I know that some people don't want to use them, so that's the tip. Now, the strumming. Let's talk about the strumming for this song. I have two options that work really well with this one. So when you listen to this song, it's just one of those songs that makes you want to move. And with our ukulele, how do we get people to move? One of them is the speed that we use for the song, and the other one is adding a little bit of percussion, a little bit of drum. So this is the strumming pattern that I'm doing. I'm going to do it for you first, and then I'll break it down. So. It sounds cooler than it is difficult. It is actually not too crazy. So what I'm doing is down, and I'm strumming right where the body meets the fretboard. So I'm strumming down, up, and then a muted strum that I hit right there where the body and the fretboard meet. And the hand is already in position for me to do a final up. So down, up, mute, up. Down, up, mute, up. If this muted strum is not working, I have it's called a chuck. I have a chucking tutorial if you want to watch that. And if it's not working for you right now, you can do a slap. So down, up, slap, up, down, up, slap, up. And when you slap, you're already in position for an up strum too, so that works. Let's try it slowly on an E minor. Our tempo or our speed will be this: down, up, slap, up, or down, up, mute. Let's try it 4 times. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up. Okay, let's do the same thing on an A. 1, 2 on A. 1, 2, ready, go. And remember, you can do a slap. Go to D chord. 1, 2, ready, go. Down, up, down, up. So as soon as you add that little bit of percussive element into your strum, people are going to start to feel it. And maybe people is just you or your plant or your dog. But if you decide to play for people, the chuck or the slap also tells them when they can clap along with you. Let's try it on the B minor 7. B minor 7, whether you're doing it the barred way, as your teacher says, or the 1 finger per string, as your friend says. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Right now, remember to think about the thumb. If you want to roll the index finger to the side a little bit, I like it really flat. So find your position that you like. Go ahead and give your hand a little break. Wiggle it around. And breathe. And now I would like for you to think about how you're sitting right now. Are you scrunching over and hugging the ukulele? Are you coming to the ukulele? Or is the ukulele coming to you? Think about how you're positioned. Unfold your spine, take a few breaths, remind your face that you're not angry. I tend to get like this when I'm trying something and I'm trying really hard. Roll the shoulders a little bit. Breathe. Okay, keep breathing. Let's do a quick little commercial break while we do that. Today I am playing the new Romero Creations Daniel Ho Vintage Soprano. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I don't really play soprano ukuleles, but this one, I saw it at the NAMM show and I made a beeline for it. There were other ukes, like the Tiny Tenor. Love her too. But when I saw this one, I was like, what is this? I love it. So I bought a few for the shop after hearing it because it has a really beautiful voice. And if you order from my shop, by the way, buying from my shop is a way to support the channel. So you get to shop and you get to support this channel. I got these hard cases for these ukes because I think they're like way too precious to put in a gig bag. So when you order, you get it like this with a few other accessories that I like throwing in because I really like it. I know you bought the thing when you ordered it, but I really tried to imagine you opening a gift for me. So I like throwing in other accessories, a handwritten note. So yeah, and this comes with a strap button on the bottom so that you can add a little strap. All right, commercial break over. Let's put all of the chords together. And this is where it gets a little challenging. So let's do first the fretboard hand, no strumming hand, just the fretboard hand, okay? Give me E minor, A, D, and then B minor 7. Go ahead and try it right now at any speed that you need. But go ahead and almost like think, okay, hand, you're going to do it by yourself, program yourself, think about it. If you can look at the fretboard, even better. Because when you're looking and you internally or externally tell your hand where to go, making eye contact with what you want your hand to do makes it so much easier. Each chord only gets 2 full beats. So 1 and 2 and then the next chord 1 and 2 and then 1 and 2 and. The good news is the whole song uses this pattern. But yeah, the bad news is that it's only 2 beats. So it's it moves, right? So let's try without the strumming hand. Go ahead and just hold your ukulele. And we're going to do 1 and 2 and then switch, okay? Be ready on E minor. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, 1 and 2, switch. 1 and 2, switch. 1 and 2, switch. 1 and 2, switch. Again, breathe. Go back to E minor. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, 1 and 2, switch. 1 and 2, switch. 1 and 2, switch. 1 and 2, switch. Okay, 2 more times. I hope you're doing this part with me. 1, 2, ready, fretboard hand. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, next we're going to do the strumming hand. And just rest your hands over the fretboard. We're not going to do the chords yet. We're just going to do this. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, this time you're going to say the chord that you're playing, okay? So we'll say it like this: E minor, A, D, B minor 7. Okay, say it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Now E minor, A, D, B minor 7. Again, 1, 2, say it, go. E minor, A, D, B minor 7. And it's okay if you forget. I forgot for a second there. Next thing that we are going to do. So imagine that this is what I'm doing for the teachers watching and those of you who end up teaching somebody else. Imagine that you're on the first floor and the song that you want to play is on the 10th floor. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to add little steps so that you can easily climb the ladder to the 10th floor. If I had started this video like, hi, we're playing Redbone, here's the strumming pattern, here are the chords, let's go, that'd be like putting just one step on the ladder and telling you good luck. Like, what? So I try to break down, here are the chords, here's how to switch, here's where your fingers go. Let's do just the fretboard hand. Let's do just the strumming hand. Because if we make the steps small enough, it doesn't feel so intimidating, right? Okay, so the next little step on that ladder that we are adding is just strum on beat 1. 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. And what this does is that it trains both hands to move and work together to make a sound. Remember again the B minor 7? I care less about ringing notes. I care more about you landing it in time. Like being ready to go on beat 1. Oh, that's the goal. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2 on beat 1. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. This time we're going to loop it, meaning we're just going to repeat the cycle. So after you've done the B minor 7, go back to E minor. And that's something we haven't practiced yet. Okay, really quickly, to B minor 7 and E minor. B minor 7, E minor. Do it without the strumming hand. Do just the fretboard hand. And if you can make eye contact, great. If you can say it, B minor 7, E minor, B minor 7, E minor. Okay, let's loop it. You got this. Here we go. 1, 2, just strum on beat 1 and have fun. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1. Keep going. And 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Hey, hey, what's the matter with you? Da, 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 da. Oh, I messed it up. But you get the point, okay? Hopefully those switches are starting to come together. Let's try it again. Same thing. Hopefully I will do it right this time. Here we go. 1, 2, oh, 1, 2, ready, go. Keep going. I'm gonna go into the chorus. Come and get your love. Come and get your love. Da, 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 da. Come and get your love. Da, 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 da. Come and get your love. Okay, cool. Now let's try to add this strumming pattern. Go ahead and take a few seconds, try it by yourself. You don't need to pause the video. Go ahead and just try to do this whole cycle. If you're struggling with the chuck or the slap, leave it out right now and just do down, up, down, up. For each chord, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. We can work on the chuck later, or you can go and watch the chucking tutorial that I made for you. It's here on YouTube, it's free. Okay, so now let's try and add the 1 and 2 and for every chord. Breathe. Oh, that feels better. Shoulders back. Unfold the spine. Remind your face that you're not angry. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, E minor, go. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, hey, if you can hum, that's great. That'll help you connecting everything, both hands, the chords, the lyrics. Great. Okay, let's pretend we're gonna go into the chorus right here. Go. Come and get your love. 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 Come and get your love now. Come and get your love. Come and get your love. Come and get your love now. Come and get your love. Come and get your love. Come and get your love now. Come and get your love. Come and get your love. Get your love now. Now, if that was really challenging for you, then I recommend you go back one step in the ladder and make sure that you feel confident in that step before you try adding the full strum. So going back one step in the ladder would be to go back to just beat 1. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. A little thing that you can do while you're practicing that if you go back is to keep the hand moving even if you're only strumming on beat 1. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and that'll be really good for your hand. Okay, so I think the last thing left for us to do would be to add some speed to our strumming. So let's try it. And if you're not ready for that quite yet, I recommend you listen and try to just do with either the fretboard hand or the strumming hand, whichever hand needs the extra help. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Verse, ready, go. B minor 7, E minor, A, D, B minor 7. Come and get your love. 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 Now, there is another strumming pattern that I really like that works for this. You don't have to do it today, but you can have it in the back of your mind, and when you're ready for it, add it. And that's down, 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 down. Come and get your love. Come and get your love. What you can do is use the original one that we did for the verses and add a little bit more motion for the chorus. And on the B minor 7 for my more advanced people, I do down, up, down, up, up, down, up. Because you want to highlight those high strings. And the strumming pattern that I'm doing this for my more advanced people, I'm looking at you Patreon members, down, 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 up. Yeah, down, down, up, down. So you can add that. By the way, I mentioned the Patreon. So Patreon is a website that allows you to support creators like me for a monthly fee. So my Patreon members pay $5 a month. And they get song sheets. And then if you liked the format of this lesson where we just worked from beginning to end with one song, I do that every Wednesday and Thursday for my Patreon members. We meet live via Zoom. We have our ukuleles on Wednesdays. And on Thursdays, we have our baritone ukuleles and guitars. And we just try and learn the whole song during the lesson. So if you enjoyed that and would like to join us, the Patreon community, I will link it down below, or you can just go to patreon.com/BernadetteTeachesMusic. Now, the other thing I have to mention is that we are a really tight knit community. Like, we love each other. We have meetups. We see each other at ukulele festivals. If you're intimidated and think like, oh, I'm not good enough to go to a ukulele festival, there are people who go to the ukulele festival who tell me like, B, I'm on day 7 of the 30-day youth challenge. You have time. So I'll be at a few events this coming year, or depending on when you're watching. We just had a Storm in the Desert. That's an event that I hosted for this community. It was so fun. But I will be at the LA Ukulele Festival, at the Port Townsend Ukulele Picnic, and then in Canada, Vancouver for Strum in the True North. So make sure and follow me on social media so that you can see where I'll be and we can hopefully meet. I really love meeting, and something super cool that happened is that somebody said, hey, I have a question about Pink Panther. Can you help me? Because I'm having a difficult time transitioning. And so I was able to sit down with her, even if it was just like, I think it was like 5 minutes, and helped her work out something that she needed help with. So come to an event where I'll be, it'll be super fun. And then the other thing I want to advertise is that we created a magazine together. It's called UKELANDIA, and it's all about sharing good news in the community. So people share their experience going to ukulele festivals, going to the NAMM show. They take pictures together and meet. It's been such a wonderful experience putting this together and being a part of this. I tend to do the intro article and just talking about something that we just did. So this intro article was about our Strum in the Netherlands event that we hosted. So yeah, I'm trying to travel as much as possible to meet as many of you as I can. So follow me on social media so that you can stay up to date. I also post all of this on Patreon. Okay, so next I would like to do a little playthrough, and I'm gonna add some saxophone. So let's do this. I'm gonna turn on voice recorder so that I can listen to it with the saxophone and add that on top. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, let's add a little intro. 1, 2, ready, go. One more time. Verse. It's the Blue Angels. I live really close to a Navy facility, and they're practicing for the show that they're having soon. If you enjoyed today's lesson, please let me know in the comments below, or hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all the little buttons that you click. It really helps to keep the channel going. If you can join the Patreon community, please join the Patreon community, because that is actually why I'm able to do this full time. So thank you, Patreon members. If you liked today's ukulele, you can shop for it down below. If you would like UKELANDIA magazine, you can shop for it down below. This one, we don't do for profit. We do to pay back the cost of printing and of shipping it. But it's like, we're really proud of this. So please check out UKELANDIA magazine. Also, check out the places where I'll be visiting so that we can hopefully meet in person. Don't be shy about coming just because you haven't been playing that long or you're not that good. Like, just come out to the events. It'll be so much fun. If you've been to an event already, please let the others know that you had a lot of fun, that it was really cool. Alrighty, I hope to see you in the next one. Let me know your song suggestions, and thank you. Ciao!